All right, and we are going on Say Too Much here. Stacy's with me. No Hutch today.
Nope.
And you know what? It's just kind of ironic. He was the one that was able to actually see the show here.
I know.
You and I have it on our list of things to do, but he's not here. We are, though, joined. We're talking about the Broadway production Back to the Future at the Orpheum Theater going on right now.
The musical.
The musical. And we're joined by Caden Brauch. Caden, welcome in, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good to be
Playing
here.
Marty McFly. I can't believe we got Marty here. Marty.
The star. No extras, no backups. We got the young star. And I say, yeah, how old are you?
I'm
Caden?
23.
23.
Yep.
And from where you hail from?
Seattle, Washington. I grew up, but I moved to New York like 3 years ago. So
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I want to start, to be honest, because
Sure.
just from what was it, you were labeled newcomer.
yes,
That's the label that you've been given.
rightfully
So
so.
hot on the scene in Broadway in New York. Now you're moving around, 23 years old. I'm trying to think of even when I broke in. I was so thrilled at like 24 to be doing an internship at a radio station, let alone on Broadway, on the road, performing.
Yeah.
So I would love a little bit of insight just as a young kid yourself, breaking
Yeah.
into Broadway, playing a
Marty.
character like you're playing,
Yeah.
which is kind of iconic.
Mhm.
Just kind of take me through your mindset of kind of how you got to where you are.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up doing theater in the Seattle area. Really, just loved it, and it kind of felt like just a snowball kept rolling down a hill of like professional productions growing up. I was doing that in like middle school and then into high school, and I was like, oh, this is something I could actually do. Like this felt possible. So I went to school for it, and then that's when the pandemic hit, and I wasn't gonna do Zoom ballet from my living room.
No, that didn't appeal to you artistically.
Weirdly not. I
Hard
don't
to
know-
get a
I don't
job
know
doing
why.
Zoom
Yeah.
That's
ballet.
so bizarre. It seemed like such a good.
Hard to enjoy any part of Zoom ballet. So I ended up leaving school and took a year off with quarantine and stuff. But in that time, really decided that what was right for me was to move to New York and kind of find my own education. I attended T. Schreiber's acting conservatory in the city. And did their 1 year program, and took voice lessons and dance classes, improv and things like that, and really just tried to like kind of make my own education, my own like curriculum through all that, which was very fun to tell my two teacher parents that's my plan. But
Guess what? I'm going to take a 1,000 to 1, million to 1 shot, and it's going to be great.
I was so happy to get this job, mostly because I could say, hey, mom and dad, it paid off.
Take a breath. It's fine. All parents would be like, "That's great. We wish the best for." That's how I'd imagine it is if a young kid says, "Mom, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to be an actor, actress." They go, "Okay, that's great. Follow your dreams. Please God, just know you can come back."
Yes,
but
very much so.
Now proof is in the pudding. Now you've got the big gig to launch, and
Yeah.
is it kind of feel like this is like one kind of big important stepping stone for you, or kind of?
Absolutely. I mean, this is my first national tour. This is my
Wow.
first, big job. So it's really I'm just very happy to be here.
Yeah, no kidding.
happy to be asked. And yeah, it's been so much fun. It's like he's like the coolest character ever. So this is really an honor to be playing him.
Let's talk about the show because
Yeah.
it is an iconic story. The
Mhm.
movie, of course, known by people, I'm old enough to be your mom, so I've seen this movie a million times.
Mhm.
And so I know the character inside and out. And so was it daunting to play Marty McFly that I know? People who are younger than me know. Your parents probably were like, "You're playing Marty? We know
Yeah.
Marty."
Yeah, no, and when I knew Marty as well. My parents did a very good job of, that was just I don't even remember the first time I saw the movie. It
So
was
how
just
did you
like-
press for it? Did you watch the film a couple
Yeah,
times?
no,
or
absolutely.
how did you figure that out?
Kind of in the audition process, watch the movie, watch specific scenes over and over again, trying to really capture some of it, but also in our rehearsal process, the director, like at the very top of the rehearsal process, was like, "Listen, I don't want you guys to be Christopher Lloyd and Michael J.
There.
Fox. I don't want you to
You
be that.
want
I don't want,
impressionists.
yeah, and I don't want you to be Roger and Casey, who play the roles on Broadway. Like, we want this production to be its own production."
That was-
And that was was really helpful. It was really, I feel like took some of the pressure off, and I, as a big fan, there's some lines that are so iconic and stuff that I wouldn't want to hear them any other way. So
That was something I had a big curiosity about, because
yeah.
you do know these are iconic characters that have been, played a couple of times. And that was my first thought, is if I was going into a role like that, you're going to have your own influence, like your own personality yourself, because you don't want to, just kind of rinse, repeat what's been done.
Right,
So
yeah.
have you found that you've able to, kind of, as you perform this character, have you felt like, okay, I'm kind of putting a good amount of myself into this? Like, this is definitely my take on the character.
Yeah, definitely. I think through the rehearsal process, and last night we opened here, and that was show 101 that we've done so far. So we've kind of found a lot so far. I think it was through building the relationships between me and the other actors, specifically like with Don, who plays Doc, and Burke, who plays my dad. Really finding our relationships, which fuel a lot of the comedy and the heart of the whole show. And sometimes we're just messing with each other up there. They've both made me fully break on stage, and which is fun, because for anyone who's seen the Broadway production, knows that there's parts that are kind of some improv-y moments during the show, and we've found our own moments to kind of have fun and make little bits with each other, and those have led to some laughs. And I think the audience can tell when that happens. Like, there's I always find in movies, like, hearing a line and being like, that felt improvised. That was too natural feeling. And we've definitely found those lines for ourselves. So that's very fun.
When they kind of break you, this is getting a little into the weeds on these details, but that's what I kind of find fun, is it's that I think one of my favorite things to do is to try to, I think we all on this show specifically, obviously this is the podcast, but during the show, I think we all kind of have a little competition where you try and make each other break. You try and say something, I try and look at Stacy and see if I got her a little bit. And same thing with Hutch, who's unfortunately sick today. When somebody gets you on stage, maybe breaks you a little bit, ooh, they got me.
Yeah.
Do you feel motivated to be like, okay, I want to kind of come back around?
I would love to. It feels a lot of the time like Marty is the straight man to Doc's craziness, or George's.
It's probably fair.
Whatever George,
whatever he is,
all the things that George is. So I would love to, and I feel like I don't necessarily have as many opportunities as they might, but it's definitely it's been fun. And we've found moments. One specifically is, I remember right before George goes to ask Lorraine out in the 50s. It was Father's Day. We performed on Father's Day, and I sent him off and I said Happy Father's Day on stage, and the whole audience like applauded, and I was like, oh, I didn't mean to stop the show for that. So,
Whoops.
No, I think you take that.
Note,
then you just go right to it. And by the way, you're welcome.
Yeah. No, so that was very fun. We've had a couple of those.
Now, because the movie, is so well known, and if you haven't seen it, by gosh, you should probably watch it. How close is the musical to the movie? Are people going to be annoyed? Are they going to be delighted? I mean, how close is it? I mean, I know those
curmudgeon Broadway fans who stay in line just go like, if this is any changed up at all,
I'm out of here. I brought bananas to throw at the actors.
Well, luckily, no bananas yet. But no, it's very. I think people will be very excited to see how close to the movie. I mean, we had Bob Gale, creator of the movie, who wrote the script for this show, like in rehearsals with us.
Oh, well, that's good.
Like throughout the whole time.
That's kind of cool for you guys.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, first rehearsal, I read through a scene with Don, who plays Doc, and then looked over at the director and was like, "Oh, that's Bob Gale. That's okay." I hope that went well. But yeah, no, we stick very close. There's all the moments, the iconic moments from the movie, plus some new fun ones. Just doing it on stage, and then also the nature of it being a musical. We have a lot of singing and dancing as well. That's a lot of fun. Really rocks the house, and I think people are going to enjoy it.
I'm dying to know how. I know you got some state-of-the-art visual effects. I'm dying to know how you end up doing, the car.
Yes.
And the other.
It's
things.
It's very exciting. I mean, I've been sworn to secrecy,
Of course.
but I will say, hearing the audience's reactions,
Yeah.
during and then after those driving sequences, going back in time and then coming back to the future, is very exciting and really makes us feel like we've done our jobs well. And the fact that they figured out how to tour this show is really incredible. Because we don't pull anything from what Broadway did. So
Cool.
yeah,
That's gonna be my fascination because I've only lived here for about a year.
hmm
It had been quite a while since I had seen like a proper Broadway show. Last one was in Boston, I want to say.
Mm.
I've gotten the chance to go to the Orpheum a couple of times now, which I consider myself very lucky. And each time it's actually been quite impressive with you talk about the details on the set, the
Mhm.
intricacies of it. I had the same thought was, is this going to be a full on DeLorean that they just drag out? Like I was curious about the same thing. I understand bringing it up again is not going to get me the answers I probably want. So that's where we say, go to hennepinarts.com, get your tickets there.
Mhm.
But that's what I'm curious, the level of detail and working around how intricate the show might actually could be with those elements. Was that, how long did that take to get used to?
Yeah, I mean, usually I feel like tech is like a week long, and we had 2 weeks of tech when we got to our first theater after rehearsals, um, to just put everything together. And it's crazy having to then pack all that up and go to a new space, and they have to our crew, our amazing crew, has to load that all in, Sunday night, and then we do a show in a new city on Tuesday, and that's the fact that they can do that is really incredible.
Yeah, they're pretty
I
cool.
could only imagine when you do like live remotes here or whatever, and you just pray, you're like, just tell
Mhm.
me engineering has got set up.
They
Let
gotta figure it
alone
out.
you show up and you're gonna hop on stage and be like, I hope everybody set this up exactly how we. That's that little stuff from somebody who's not in that world. That's all. Those are the things I think about. Is like, you got to be going on stage and be like, well, hope it's all done exactly how it's supposed to. Hope that DeLorean runs.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
no,
kidding.
that's I've definitely asked that a couple times. I'm like, all right, and the car's driven, and we're all good. and
We've
set
all
to
double,
go?
triple checked everything.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Well,
And
the
it
show-
went very well last night. So
Oh,
and
that's-
the audience was
That's
wonderful.
good to know, right?
Very
Everybody
happy.
loved it, and
Yeah.
it's done really well everywhere. Like I know that you just finished up the West End productions, and it broke box office records. So we would expect nothing less than that here. I know
Mhm.
it's only going to be at the Orpheum in the Twin Cities here till September 22nd. So if you want tickets, I would get them as soon as possible because I have a feeling that they're going to be going fast.
Yeah, as we say at Back to the Future, get your tickets yesterday.
Ha!
Get you. Well said.
That is the appropriate response. To
And
that.
there is kind of a fun thing happening with the DeLoreans. There's sort of like a parade of DeLoreans.
I heard about this morning, so that's
Oh, okay.
So, do you have details on that? Because
Um,
I read the same thing. It said parade of. I was like, what does that imply?
I thought I had
I
it.
just
Where is
heard
it?
that it was happening for the first time this morning. I
Oh,
was
here it
like,
is.
I'm sorry?
Yes,
We have multiple?
What
there
does it
is
say?
Back to the Future fan night.
Yes.
This is coming up Thursday, September 12th. Before the show, a parade of DeLoreans, 6:20 p.m. before the show. You can snap a picture with the iconic time machine, which sounds really fun.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you can also dress in your best 50s, 80s, or Back to the Future inspired attire. This is all free things you can do. The first 300 guests in costume get an exclusive limited edition poster, and all that's free to attend. And it's located next door to the Orpheum Theater in the parking lot. So, and by the way, the show is appropriate for ages 6 and up. So if you do want to take your young ones, get them excited for, attending theater or being part of theater.
Yeah.
I would say so. The show is a selling point. And then if you also are one of those people that has family members who are just like, your Instagram and social media presence is terrible. It's embarrassing for the whole family to even look at. This is your chick. Go and take a picture with a DeLorean.
Yeah, and from all the ones that I've seen, traveling around so far, they're all movie accurate. So they have all of the flux capacitor and like all of the little buttons and gizmos in there that ours has on stage. But it's been very cool to see all the different ones around the country.
Okay.
Even if you can't make it to the show, you can make it for that little
Yeah.
DeLorean thing.
I mean, even last night I saw multiple people dressed up
That's fun.
as Marty, and there was a couple as Marty and Jennifer. That was really fun to see.
Well, here I was planning on going tonight. Now I'm thinking, well, I kind of want to see DeLorean tomorrow.
Well, you could
Yeah.
do both. Why
We'll
not?
see.
Go to the
There
show
we go.
tonight, do the DeLorean thing. tomorrow.
Yeah,
you
it's
think,
free.
you think
Everyone
all my
can-
assets are liquid? I can just
You're
be
gonna,
buying
well, you don't have
tickets
to
for
go to
every
the
single
show
day?
twice. You can just do the DeLorean thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But you're going to have to leave the show early. So I don't know how that's going to play.
I have some organizing to do. Okay, let's end this because I got to plan my schedule now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
The show again till the 22nd of September. Caden Brauch, Marty McFly. Break a leg.
Do you have any social, anything you want to plug yourself?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram, Caden.Brauch. That's Brauch.
Okay, there you go. He's a good looking kid. And
He's got
I think
talent.
This is a good breakout Broadway kid here.
He's a big
I
deal.
appreciate it.
Okay, so give him a follow again till the September 22nd. You got times, plenty of showings, plenty of options. DeLoreans tomorrow as well. So there you go. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. That's Say Too Much, and we'll see you again next week.